Last night, I called my daughter and said, I'm going to be speaking about AI to an executive audience here. And, any advice? And she said, Dad, you can get very technical about these things, so just keep it funny. So I went to ChatGPT and said, hey, give me a funny joke. I want to, you're supposed to do an icebreaker in these big conferences. Give me a funny joke. And unfortunately, nada. Not funny enough for the audience here. So I don't have a good joke for you. But I'm hoping through my keynote presentation, through all the wonderful journeys that you'll hear about our customers' transformations, through the innovations that you'll see on the stage from our product innovations that we're launching today, you'll be inspired to go back and say, okay, there is a big step change possible to make in large organizations. And really, that's the mission of AIM 10X. AIM 10X is about step change. We invented the digital brain and launched it about 10 years ago. The founding thesis of the '09 digital brain was the following. Instead of thinking of the enterprise as a large set of organizations, functions, people, think of it as a set of decisions that need to be made in response to risks and opportunities that are emerging in the market constantly. What are those decisions? There are decisions related to new products, commercial decisions related to marketing, pricing, sales initiatives that you need to launch, supply chain decisions related to distribution, production, procurement. And obviously, these decisions are highly interconnected. My new product decisions, commercial decisions drive the forecasts drive the supply chain decisions, but there's a lot of complexity involved in that. There are long lead time decisions that can constrain the shorter lead time decisions. Decisions here made about capacities in the supply chain, longer lead time materials. Those are constraining what you can offer to the customers, even what you can sell. So the complexity of decision making in a large enterprise that's selling tens of thousands of SKUs, sometimes hundreds of thousands of SKUs, multiple markets, multiple channels, deep supply chains, that actually computes to billions of decisions, billions of computations and decisions that need to be made every day. Every one of those decisions needs to be synchronized. They needs to be optimized. They need to be executed. And in a volatile world, when things are changing all the time, you have to be constantly optimizing, constantly synchronizing. And that's a big, big challenge in large enterprises. Why? Because of scale, we had to distribute those decisions across many functions, many processes, sales, marketing, new product, finance, supply chain. You all know the problems with the decision making. Forecasts get misaligned between sales and supply chain. Information gets distorted. Optimization is happening in silos. Supply chain is focused on cost and inventory. Sales is focused on revenue growth, not on the end-to-end value. So huge amount of value was leaking. So our fundamental thesis was this: if you can build the digital brain to be able to bring all these decisions together, how do we model all the data and all the knowledge required to make all these decisions? There was no technology out there that could model the complexity of strategic decisions versus daily decisions. And that was the innovation behind the enterprise knowledge graph. Since we launched about 10 years ago, the digital brain is the platform that's driving planning and execution in about 30 industry verticals, all types of manufacturers across the supply chain, retailers, distributors, service providers, in the orders of hundreds of millions of dollars of incremental value that's been generated. Now, it's not very usual that you find customers willing to talk publicly about the value, so we are pretty proud of that. I just wanted to call out a couple of points. ABI, CFO did $1 billion stock buyback based on the supply chain performance. Significant improvements where now they are 90% touchless in their advanced markets. Touchless in forecasting, touchless in how the orders are being generated. And the touchless mindset is not just about productivity. The touchless mindset is really a driver of change, because every time someone touches a plan, are they adding value or destroying value? And then using that as a mindset to kind of continuously improve the process and the capabilities. And it has driven dramatic results. If you take Hewlett-Packard, now with the '09 platform in place, they're able to respond to all the deals within the day. And not only are they able to respond to deals, they're able to actually shape demand. Because if the customer asks for this configuration X, and I'm able to provide a configuration X prime, and that's what's available in supply, you can actually shape demand and have a conversation with the customer saying, this is what you can take. And that actually helps both sides. It's end-to-end optimization. So that's the kind of capability that our customers have been driving with the digital brain. and unlocking tremendous value. So on that platform and on that basis, the next question then to ask is, what about AI? The digital brain was fundamentally rooted with the knowledge graph so that we can bring the entire enterprise onto one platform. To make enterprise AI work for planning and execution, you need knowledge models. And guess what? That's what we had built from the very foundation, the knowledge models, the knowledge graph models. So we knew what's possible, and we went into R&D. Now we have been doing strategic customer innovation pilots, and I'm really excited about what the possibilities of that are turning out to be. So I wanted to share some of those with you today. We started mostly with the core planning area of supply chain, demand planning, supply chain planning, S&OP, bringing that together. But our customers who have been on the journey with the O9 platform, they've started realizing the flexibility of the platform. They've grown from planning for the supply chain. Now we've extended the processes of the digital brain towards what we're calling revenue growth management, which is all the planning related to driving revenue growth, my commercial planning related to marketing, pricing, new products. Very, very powerful thing that drives the integration between revenue and the supply chain. We've extended the platform towards what we call supplier relationship management, bringing the suppliers into the planning process. Of course, everyone wants earlier visibility in today's supply chain, in your multi-tier supply chain. So how do you bring in that visibility through our SRM extensions to the supply chain? We have really made the IBP process happen. Most IBP processes were very supply chain centric. Now we are really making true IBP happen, bringing commercial and supply chain together to optimize end-to-end at the enterprise. Some of our customers are driving towards putting in ESG KPIs into the IBP process. So you're not only optimizing for financial KPIs, but looking at ESG KPIs as well. And from planning, more and more, what our customers are starting to realize is the execution level decisions, the daily, hourly decisions that need to be made are highly rigid in ERP systems. You make a decision in a planning system, then they're overridden before they're executed. And it's like, if I take an Uber today, one of the things about Uber is once I make the decision, everything else is automated. That is the problem with ERP execution systems. Lot of touch, 60 to 70% of the orders were being touched even after the plans were being generated. So more and more of our customers are moving the execution level decision-making systems to O9. So we are doing order promising, daily deployment, daily inventory replenishment, factory production, MRP, automating the decision-making process. That's what we call execution. It's not physical execution, but essentially the execution horizon decision-making. So now the digital brain is truly an end-to-end enterprise planning and execution platform, which was the original vision that we had set out for. What is the next evolution with AI? Is a possibility of a step change, along with the AIM 10X theme, a 10X improvement possible in intelligence, in automation, and what I call span of control, and I'll explain that. Customers we are talking to, they have organizations that are 1,500 people, planning organization. Executives that I talk to are asking, can we be brought down to 50 people? And I can free up the rest of the very, very valuable organization towards high value added activities. Is it possible? So it's not about only productivity, and I'll explain how that's going to happen. So for example, if I look at the overall decision-making horizon, in the execution horizon, the goal with AI, is it possible to get to 100% touchless? We're already getting to 90, 95% touchless with respect to execution time decisions, whether it is promising orders, whether it is responding to deal quotes, whether it's inventory deployment, whether it is replenishment, whether it is MRP generation. We're already getting to 90, 95%, and we're continuously going to improve that to get to the 100% experience with respect to execution time decisions. There's a lot of possibilities. I think later on today, in some of the stages, you'll see how touchless decisioning is going to be enabled with AI. But when you go to the planning horizon, what I call it, the tactical horizon, the strategic horizon, what are the possibilities? I'll just take 3 capabilities, and let's talk about how it will be dramatically improved with AI, and I wanted to show it as well. Let's take the case of visibility, okay? End-to-end visibility. Today, one of the big challenges in companies is there are a lot of issues that are happening in the market or deep in the supply chain, but that visibility does not get transferred to decision-making in time. A lot of times you're getting surprised. Can AI help me spot those risks and opportunities much earlier by looking across the entire supply chain, across the value chain, and internal to operations and find me the risks and opportunities. We'll show how that is possible. It can dramatically improve visibility. Can it do rapid scenario planning? We're already doing a lot of scenario planning. Where will AI take it? To do a cross-functional scenario planning today, you need to bring in multiple people into the process. You still need to bring in commercial organization, you need to bring in supply chain, production, procurement. All of these functions have to come together. Now imagine, which is what we're going to show, an AI agent can look at those things horizontally and bring all the analysis together of the what if, and then answer those questions. It dramatically increases the span of control. What 5 people are doing today, having to do it as scenario planning, 1 person can be able to do with a broader span of control. Organizations will evolve. Now, of course, there's a lot of apprehension about that, but I firmly believe that people's creativity to drive more value will be unlocked. We are doing a lot of activity that is actually not productive. It's just passing numbers from one side to the other, reconciling, fighting internal battles about the numbers. The actual productivity about creating value for the enterprise. What are the market risks and opportunities? How do I analyze those? That's where the creativity will be unlocked. I would like to start just showing how that will happen first. I'll ask O9's Chief Product Officer and driving our AI innovations to help me from there while we are doing this. Umesh. Right now, I'm a planner responsible for driving revenue in the organization. I have my plan, and we already have capabilities in the software to look at various risks and opportunities in a structured way coming across the organization to close the gap to the plan. Those are the things that are highlighted at the bottom, the risks and opportunities. So now, I still have gaps to hit my plan, and I would like to understand what are the other risks and opportunities that are there in the market. What do I do today? I need to go talk to a whole bunch of people. My salespeople go meet customers. There are things happening at competitors. There's information in the supply chain. How do I get all that information? So one of the agents that we have created is called an R&O agent, constructed to go mine all the transcripts, all the meeting minutes, the web. It can be directed towards any unstructured data, because before it becomes a structured risk and opportunity I can analyze, someone knows something about something somewhere. That's a problem already. So let's say I'm a CPG manufacturer for the pastry category. I'm a revenue planner. Now, this is actually connected to the EKG. So it understands pastry as a category in the market. On the knowledge graph, it's able to now search across a variety of unstructured data. Think of interfacing with meeting transcript, because there's a lot of insight trapped in those things. So let's say I see an opportunity with respect to a demand surge that's coming from some meeting transcript at an account some of my sales teams had had, and I want to start collaborating on that one. I want to convert that into a structured risk and opportunity discussion. Hey, what does this opportunity mean for an incremental demand? By the way, it can be actually constructed in plain English. It's pretty amazing what the agentic technology. I've given it instructions to go search the web, go search transcripts. It's able to do that, connect to my EKG. It understands all the objects of categories, SKUs, my markets, my customers, everything else, and goes finds that data. We put it here so that you understand that it's real. It's actually going and querying the EKG. Before we take that upside opportunity, I want you to understand quickly, hey, what is my current supportability for pastry in Canada? I know there's going to be a demand upside 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Today, the commercial planner has to talk to a supply chain planner. Now, the agent is going to go query the data. Today, a number of reports are created in enterprises. The number of reports that are created dramatically will come down. The information just comes to you from the EKG. Okay, so now it's just telling me, hey, I'm good for my demand 2 quarters from now, or whenever the upside is going to be coming in. Now, let's run an actual demand supportability. What if? If the demand goes up by 15% or whatever it is, can the supply chain support it? The agents have been taught what the workflow is to construct a broader demand supportability analysis. We can do it in deep optimization mode versus fast response mode. Deep optimization is when I have more time. I want you to fully optimize the supply chain. Fast response mode is just tell me a quick answer. Coming back with a recommendation, the incremental cost versus the incremental revenue and gross margin you're going to get from that demand versus the incremental cost in the supply chain, your contribution margin is positive. Now, imagine the span of control thing that I talked about. This is one planner collaborating with sales to understand risks and opportunities, changing the demand, running the supportability analysis, explaining it to management, saying this is what it should be taken, done by the platform. So while it's just giving me the answers, if I want to look at the details of the scenarios, it's all available at a click to go into the details and navigate the entire software. And I can go even chat with these screens in more intelligent fashions. Very exciting possibilities of what this can mean for planning functions, management functions of the future. And all of it is made possible because of the 09 EKG. Without having the knowledge models that connect commercial and supply chain together, the depth of it, AI will not work. Take it from me, I've been deep into it. Without the knowledge models, AI ain't working. So it is very, very important to have the knowledge models, and that's why we're really excited. Next one. Is that exciting, team? All right. Next. We said, what are the biggest problems to solve that we have not yet solved? And it's been there from the back of my mind from the very time we invented the digital brain, but I didn't have the technology back then. One of the biggest problems in planning and execution for the longest time has been the fact that plans and execution are always deviating. There are gaps across the enterprise. I forecasted to sell 100, I sold only 80. I told the factory to build 100, they build only 85. I told the procurement to get 90, they only delivered 80. Execution versus plan, deviations happening all the time. Excess inventory is building up. A lot of our customers, when they start the project, we had $1 billion of excess inventory. And I'm going, how did the hell did we let $1 billion of excess inventory just build up? Why were we not acting? The reason why continuous improvement is extremely difficult in companies is while they have visibility to the what, i.e. where the gap is between plan and execution for any KPI, dashboards show them, hey, I have revenue gaps, I have excess inventory, et cetera, et cetera. The why that's building up is a very, very difficult answer to get in companies. What's the complexity with why? Why is there excess inventory building up? Well, is it a forecast issue? Is it a supply issue? Someone is producing more than I had told them to produce? Is it someone is procuring more than we're supposed to procure? Are my inventory policies wrong? And these are decisions that are made over multiple cycles of plans that lead to the excess inventory finally. That ability to put that analysis together in time to understand why it's going wrong is very difficult. By the way, it's clouded by lack of sharing of information, a lot of tribal knowledge. It's a very difficult answer to put together that why. And in the absence of understanding the why, the improvement action is impossible. So that's why, if I say it politely, enterprises suck at continuous improvement. We let the problems go bubble up, they become big problems, then we need a big transformation program. And the transformation program takes a couple of years. There's a ton of value leaking every day. So who are the best organizations at continuous improvement? Who can understand what's going wrong on a daily basis and drive continuous improvement? To me, we look for inspiration outside. The best ones at that are sports teams. Sports teams have an amazing technology. Let's play a video, please, quickly.
I just had a call with the CFO. He's got a meeting with the board, and he has some questions. $300 million jump in excess inventory? Customer service issues at the same time? I mean, why did this happen? And what can we do to prevent it in the future?
It's the forecast accuracy, especially the mix level.
Is that the only problem, though? Can the mix accuracy be any better? And also, some of the excess is at the component level, and those are shared across SKUs. So it's not just the mix accuracy.
Yes, but those are parts where we made strategic buys because we had good pricing deals. We all agreed to this decision 3 months ago. That shouldn't be reported as excess.
Then why is there excess on these slow-moving SKUs and are still short on the high-volume SKUs? Are the inventory policies set right?
Well, we did set inventory targets at the start of the year, but conditions change and our processes don't update them frequently.
Wow, this was incredible, Steve. Let's look at the replay. See here, look, the midfielder misplaces the pass, the wide player doesn't commit, the defender intercepts easily. That's where the counterattack begins, and then winning goal all against a run of...
They've got video replay. We need that. A decision replay system. What decisions were made, what went right, what went wrong, and what we need to improve.
But it's a very complex problem to solve. If you think of the human brain, it's constantly learning every day and updating its models in real time. It was not possible in enterprises. And I was always thinking about it from the very beginning. It's one of the fundamental problems to solve. And with the AI evolution and a bunch of algorithmic development that we've been doing, now it's completely possible. And we have been piloting it with customers, and I'm really, really excited about the possibilities of this. So now let's assume I'm in a big enterprise, and I want an agent to do post-game analysis for me, borrowing on the post-game analysis that sports teams do, kind of inspired by that. Do a post-game analysis for me on excess inventory. Simple question. If you're the best analyst in the company, how should they answer that question? How much of it is that excess, right? How much of it is really at risk? All answered from the EKG. Then, how do I go in and understand for each of those SKUs? Those could be lots of SKUs across different product lines. How do I summarize what the root causes are that are driving that execution versus plan? For example, here, forecast adjustments, i.e., people who adjusted the forecast beyond what the system recommended actually destroyed value by creating some of the excess inventory. There were order cancellations that happened that were above the norm that kind of created the excess problem. There's places where we had overproduction. There's places where we changed the safety stock policy. Across the entire SKUs, it's summarizing where the problems are. Now I want to understand how to start fixing those. We can look at which plants are driving overproduction, and why would that be? I might know the answer, or I can do an investigation. There might be the plant managers are trying to maximize utilization versus hitting the plan. There are customers who are driving order cancellations that are above the norm of what the order cancellation should be. We've got to go tighten those ordering policies with those customers. Whatever the root causes are, it's able to do a multi-graph causal search on the various paths of why the excess inventory could be happening, putting it all together, and summarizing what the actions need to be. That, by the way, is not easy. So this analysis requires you to look at decisions over multiple planning cycles. What happened today was because of overproduction 3 months back. I need to have all those plan versions in my system, right, and the actuals. So it's doing all that analysis. Today, that takes a lot of manual effort for a person to construct an analysis for one SKU, let alone 10,000 SKUs. And that's why people don't do post-games. It's almost impossible. They just keep generating plans. Now, with this learning model, you're able to go figure out exactly where the root causes are. With the continuous improvement, with this visibility, just like the sports teams, one of the reasons why sports teams are so good at continuous improvement is their shared visibility on who screwed up, who did well. In slow motion, they're able to see what the hell happened. Enterprises, we don't have that. It is the biggest driver of change. So we are really excited about what we're calling the self-learning models that will dramatically improve the quality of planning and execution. Don't wait until the problems become too big. Executives are having to launch newer and newer strategies in a fast-changing world. I have to launch new types of products and services. I want to sell more direct to customer, new channels. I want to change my supply chain from an outsourced model. All of these are essentially strategies that we need to keep devising and running. Divide those strategies. What happens? What's the constraint? I need new capabilities. If I want to sell direct to consumer or direct to customer, if I want to sell configure to order products, it requires new capabilities in planning and in execution. If you don't have those capabilities fast enough, what do most organizations do? My ERP system has to be upgraded. It'll take a couple of years. I need to get, executives don't have the time. Put some more people at the problem, go execute the strategy. Well, it's inefficient. You won't be giving the results at scale, but then your organization has become bigger, and that itself creates a vicious loop. The bigger the organization, the harder the change management problems. With flexible platforms like O9, you can innovate, but then how do you make it easier and easier for enterprises that don't have those skills to be able to innovate by themselves? And that's where AI is going to help again. Agentic AI has tremendous amount of potential to develop code. we can put agentic AI to work to help organizations become much better at evolving the platforms themselves. And that's the next way of innovation we are driving. We want to put the control of the platform on a continuous improvement mode in your hands. Put everything together, the next generation decision architecture of the platform, planning horizon, execution horizon, the integrated planning solutions that are for the tactical and long range. Optimization. Optimization is extremely important. We are making high-value decisions in that horizon. We're going to drive more and more degree of optimization. Every 1% of optimization is multi-million dollars of value. So from optimizing the supply chain, optimizing commercial operations, and optimizing end-to-end. Execution, we talked about 100% touchless. We need to free up valuable people doing firefighting. That needs to be touchless, driven by plans and strategies that we have set up. We talked about performance post-game analysis solutions, the learning loops of the brain, continuously analyzing plan versus execution, driving improvements. We talked about, at the center of all of this is, we're calling that digitized knowledge. The knowledge graph solutions, we are innovating significantly. That was the foundation of '09. There's a lot of innovations that we are driving to capture, make it easier and easier using AI to capture tribal knowledge. Today, tribal knowledge has to be encapsulated into rules into the software, into policies in the software. It takes a long time to convert tribal knowledge of organizations, what's in people's heads, people's spreadsheets, trapped everywhere, to put it into the system. We're going to make that easier. And the AI agents, specialized AI agents for planning and execution, with specialized skills to do performance analysis, to do supportability and what-if analysis across broader spans of control, will dramatically improve the capabilities. So that's what I'm really excited about. And '09 is the platform that can make the AI-powered enterprise planning and execution happen. I highly encourage all our customers who are already built the foundation with '09. Let's figure out how to put the agentic AI on top. Let's figure out how to create your self-service COEs that you can accelerate your transformation journeys. And for the customers who are not yet on the '09 journey, you can take these platforms and the learnings, very differentiated from legacy ERP, legacy APS systems. The digital brain was architected for the future, and the future is here with AI and making that possible. So really excited. Have a wonderful session. Go see all the product demos that the teams have to show. Listen to our customers, and I'm here along with my team. Thank you.